Cortan a este influencer norteamericano que promovía fiestas sexuales y hasta daba consejos para evadir controles migratorios en Colombia. El sujeto es conocido en redes como ChillCapo, un afroamericano de 42 años que estaría en Medellín desde 2022.
No tienes nada que ofrecerle a una mujer en Colombia, excepto tu dinero.
El hombre ofrecía consejos a otros extranjeros para venir a Medellín, rayando la ilegalidad, promoviendo fiestas con aparentes fines de explotación sexual.
An influencer in Colombia was just deported and banned for 5 years. ChillCapo built a following on Medellin tips and nightlife, but officials allege he was actually promoting parties tied to sex tourism. While some agree, others argue his content actually helped tourists stay safe and expose crime. Either way, Colombia has been cracking down hard on sex tourism, denying entry to anyone suspected of traveling for those reasons. But what do you think? Is this valid or is it free ChillCapo?
Well, hello there. Welcome.
Jen, my love.
What's going on?
Man, it's been a long trip.
How's Vegas treated you so far?
Vegas is love. It's always good to be home.
Yeah, so good, so good.
to
Always
see
good to see you as well. Always,
yeah,
always,
I missed you.
I know that part.
It's been a long time.
Oh, it's been a long time. How'd Colombia treat you?
You know, they treated me great, you know? They treated
Well, we'll
me
get
great.
into that. I got a cool little spot we can talk.
Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about it.
Let's get it. Watch your step.
Uh-huh.
Welcome in.
Thank you very much.
Always.
Nice spot you got here.
I know, right? It's good to have friends.
You're doing well for yourself. I love it.
Yeah, it's actually really beautiful.
I love it. I love it. Give me a little tour real quick.
We'll do a little tour. This is the family room area, dining room, kitchen. Really cool little spot back there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then, of course, this little outdoor space, which has a beautiful view of the golf course. It's really nice.
Vibes out here, definitely.
I know. Especially in Vegas, having a little oasis is like nice.
A lot of personal space right here, you know?
Exactly.
Space right
exactly. I know. Now I'm like, hey, I got an event. Can I do with you?
Yeah, I like
that part. No, it's really nice. It's good to be in Vegas, except it's that time of the year. It's a little warm. Mm-hmm. So, but it's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to be home. You know what I mean? Congratulations. Obviously, you've been doing very well. So I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? We came a long way from Japan.
Man,
we came a long way.
The things, you know, I just think about that. I can go back through and just thinking about life. Like we've lived so many different lives and had so many different experiences, traveled the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? How many countries have we been to collectively?
Right.
You know? So yeah, I'm super grateful.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful. You know, that's what happens when you just kind of like keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
Never stopping.
Never stop. Never.
One country doesn't make the show, you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. We got plenty of places to go. Plenty of places to go. It's just a journey we got to ride, man, the wave, you know? So,
Definitely.
But I know you know how to handle yourself,
yeah,
you know what I'm
always,
saying? No matter what,
always.
so.
Not new to this travel space, not new to this.
That part.
Was doing the passport bro thing in '84, so you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I don't even know what a passport bro is. That's just lifestyle, that's just normal life.
Well,
so.
I think anybody who has a passport and who's traveled, it's a little bit different. It's not like we just got a passport yesterday.
Right.
You know, we were born with a passport,
right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Because of our roots and how we grew up.
Right.
So we've been traveling the world since, you know, like you said, since, you know, we started in this space. So, you know, nothing new. Hello, that part. So. Yeah, well, let's talk. I have some questions.
Yeah, let's go inside.
Yeah, get some clarity. Yeah, and it's a little hot.
It's definitely hot. It's definitely hot. I like this spot though. This is beautiful.
I know it really is nice.
How many million is it? Because I know it's an M at least.
Yeah, 3, 4. Well, shit. It's really nice. Here it's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get it. Here we are.
We're here.
We are here. So you know what? Let's just get into it, and let's start from the beginning. In 2022. You went to Medellin for the first time. So just start from there. What happened after that?
2022, me and my bros took the guys' trip to Medellin. First off, we went to Mexico. We were in Cabo. It was my birthday, January 31st, big Aquarius energy. So we were in Cabo. Everybody's like, yo, the bro's birthday is next month. What are we doing? Somehow on the boat, we were like, let's just go to Colombia.
Why not?
And why not? That was the idea. we did it. The next month, everyone booked their tickets. All 5 of us took the trip out there, stayed for a week, had an amazing week. Everything was incredible. Loved everything about it. It kind of reminded me of Vegas in a lot of ways because everything that runs Vegas runs Medellin also. So it was like just a very familiar place. It was a very, very familiar backdrop, setting, everything. The culture, the nightlife, the food, everything that runs Vegas runs Colombia too. So it was a very easy transition for me. And then I went back again a couple months later, stayed for 2 weeks. Had an even better time. I said, okay, you know what? But this time, the second trip, I saw a lot of lapses in the nightlife, because coming from that promoter background,
of course.
You know what I mean? I'm always thinking with that promoter mindset, like there's money to be made here. How can I make some money here if I wanted to live here long term? And then the third trip was the big trip. That was a couple months later, and I stayed for a month. I stayed for 30 days, just me and my homeboy. And really locked in, really, got comfortable. So at the end of the day, it's like I wanted to see if it was just the hype of the moment. Was I just lost in the sauce in the beginning? And that's what I was attracted to? Or was it, a place that I could really live? And was it really a viable place for me where I'm going to grow and, elevate and expand my brand, so on and so forth. So came back to Las Vegas, sold everything that I own, and in October of 2023, I want to say it was October, I made the official jump. Like that was it. I'm here, I'm not leaving. So that's basically what happened. That's what got me from Vegas to Medellin.
Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Like I said, we just our background, just being traveling the world and stuff like that. I think one thing we can say, we'd like to travel, but at the same time, we do have that ability to step back and say, am I just having a good time or can I actually completely have a full life here? You know what I mean? And establish a full life here.
Right, because Colombia was the first place that I actually went to that I came back multiple times. Most times when you vacation or go places, you go once, maybe twice at the most, and then you're done with it. You know, I don't need to go back there. It is what it is. I had a good time, but
check the box.
Yeah, that box is checked. And I had to keep checking the boxes for Colombia over and over and over.
But you have family from Colombia, don't you? You have roots somewhere in your family.
So my grandmother is half Colombian. My great grandmother is full Colombian. She was born in Cartagena. My grandmother is half Colombian, and my mother was born in Panama. So that whole little mix, of those countries and that region are definitely in my blood. It's not like a place that, I have zero ties to. A lot of people like to throw the word gringo out and you're a gringo. Yeah, to a certain extent, I am a foreigner because I was born in another country. But when you trace my history and you trace my bloodline, I have cousins in Santa Marta. I have cousins in Cartagena. I have distant family between Panama and Colombia all across that region. So really, am I visiting or am I just coming back home? When I was walking the streets, I saw a lot of people that looked like me. Like obviously we went through different things in life and we got to where we were going, differently, but ultimately like I connected with the people on a deeper level than just a tourist or, the quote passport, bro. Like I'm not a passport, bro. Like my people come from this land ultimately, you know what I mean? When they got brought off of that boat coming from wherever they came from and were dropped off here, a lot of those people stayed and didn't go anywhere. So just, feeling that energy and feeling that like sense of pride, like damn, like ultimately my people came from this soil originally when they crossed that ocean. And I think with a lot of the things that's going on with my story, that's an unknown thing. A lot of people don't know that about me. And it's just, I'm just like, man, I got to put it out there. I got to let people know that, you have
Latin roots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people just kind of see people just make judgment calls. I understand that it's social media. So there's people are always going to see things and without education or just maybe the ignorance of not understanding that and not think outside the box because you're just swiping at that point. People aren't really thinking. So I think it's definitely important to to showcase that side.
For sure.
There's a lot about you that I think people don't know, but for reasons, because one is kind of like a job and the other is your life, and those things do come together sometimes, but at the same time, you do a pretty good job of keeping those things separate as well.
Right. There's the social media version of people, and there's the personal version of people. And the problem with being a public figure is that, you know, we kind of got to let a little bit more out, you know, be seen behind the scenes. We don't get to really hide behind, you know, nobody knows what's going on in our lives, because for what we do, we need people to know what's going on in our lives. We need people to see that, hey, I'm going to be at this club, I'm going to be at this venue, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there. You know, it's safe. And I just feel like I'm one of the big reasons that people started coming to Medellin in my community, my circle of people, my circle of friends. I can count over 100 people that I know personally left Las Vegas or Miami or New York or LA and came to Colombia specifically to come party with me, touring, all the different things that, you know what I'm saying, people come to Colombia for, not just the sex tourism or for the women. Colombia has incredible tourism options outside of the nightlife and the females, you know what I mean? And it's disrespectful to go anywhere and your only reason for going there is just to buy, you know, sexual, you know, favors.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, just coming from even my background, a lot of the time when people do travel, they're trying to have a good time, whether they're going for, you know, they want to go meet people, they want to go party, they want to go see sights, they want to eat the food, just be another culture. There's so many different reasons why people travel. And I think the reason why, like you said, you had so many people that were willing to be around you and travel with you, or, you know, kind of go on those adventures is because people trust you. You know what I mean? There's a reason why people were willing to say, hey, I'm going to go to a new country and meet you. It's just the same thing you were doing, you know, when you were overseas in Asia, you know, same concept of doing the musical tours. And I think the biggest part of that is your skill set. You have a very unique skill set, you know, networking like crazy. So when you have, and I can recognize that because my own self, when I travel anywhere, you know, you have the ability to connect with the local community.
Right.
And so I know that was what you were saying. When you went to Colombia, you got a chance to really connect with the local community and kind of collaborate with them, right?
Yeah, definitely. So once I finally moved to Colombia, October 2023, I'm here. I have a visa. I had a Digital Nomad visa, which my visa was year to year. I was living in the country legally. I had a lawyer do all of my paperwork. I did everything by the books as it was supposed to be done, because once again, I respect the law of the land wherever I'm at. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do things the right way. I don't want to do things illegally and have that, you know, stress and anxiety about.
You were also a veteran, so you do understand the concept of processes and procedures. And that's the part where I feel like, you know, there's so many different factors of experience of traveling. And I feel like when you come from those military ties, there's procedures for every country. There's things you got to do in every country. Every country is different, you know? So I think even sharing that part of it, like, you know, you had to do certain things to stay in the country.
For sure. So I definitely didn't, you know, try to take advantage of the situation or circumvent any process or procedure when it comes to staying out there. I did everything the right way, as best as I could, the legal way. And, you know, so everything was good. So then I did it, I relocated, everything was great. And then eventually I got into the nightlife lane with the venues that I was already just hanging out with and partying with my guys. And, you know, everybody was just coming into town because they knew, hey, my boy's in Colombia. I've never been there. I want to check it out. It looks like he's having a good time. He looks safe. You know, a lot of the misconception about Colombia is you're going to die, you're going to get kidnapped. Everybody thinks it's like Narcos. And, you know, I get those questions all the time. What was it like? Is it dangerous? How do you wear your jewelry? How do you do this? A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about Colombia. And, you know, I was trying to be that voice in the bridge to let people know it's okay, it's safe here. You can come here. I'll help you if you need the help. This is before I even became the official tour, you know, Colombia with Capo thing.
They're trying to,
you know what I mean? Like, I was just doing it for free. I was just doing it because I wanted to make sure that everybody had a good experience in Colombia the same way that I had. I had an amazing first couple of trips there, and I said, man, if I can help people even have half the amount of fun and do it safely and do everything and enjoy the culture and learn about other sides of the city other than just Poblado where all the tourists stay. Let's go to Bayo. Let's go to Itagüí. Let's go to Sabaneta. Let's go to Laureles. Let's go to Manrique. Let's go wherever. Let's go everywhere. Let's see it all. Let's experience it all. And let's really like embrace the city and just, you know what I'm saying?
That helps the local community. A lot of those places, a lot of people only know, like you said, everybody knows Colombia is known for their special products, you know what I mean? And and so they take that and they see these movies and then that's all they're thinking, you know? And so it's nice to see that other side of it where you're like, okay, Colombia is way more than that.
Right.
You know, there's so many things about this place, the food, the people, the vibes, you know? And so you get a chance to kind of like, or you got a chance to really break that kind of like assumption and show like there's much more to this place.
Right. Like granted, when the nightlife and all that stuff is involved, like I'm gonna show you the best time with that too. We're gonna have the most lit section in the club. We're gonna have the bottles. Obviously, the ladies are gonna be there. That's a given. There's no need.
It's anywhere in the
I don't
world.
have to provide women in Colombia. Anyone who's stepped one foot in Colombia, you don't have to go looking for good-looking, attractive women.
Okay, wait, hold on. But let's just put this out there. I think any club in the world, when you go to a club and somebody has a section or a bottle, and I'm speaking from personal experience, most people are going to be crowded around those spaces. That's just what it is. Vegas, London, Tokyo, you know, Colombia's no different.
It's no different
Nightlife is the
else.
same. There's certain things that kind of remain true anywhere you go. People have bottles and sections. People are going to party with those people because they're celebrating. So everyone's going to celebrate with you.
Right. So the biggest thing is just that people wanted to come to Colombia and have a face that was familiar to them. And a lot of people, they were saying, oh, well, you're taking jobs away from locals. There's local tour guides that can show people around. Why don't you let the locals do that? And it's like, yeah, that's cool too, but a lot of people just prefer a familiar face. They prefer somebody that they know. They prefer somebody that they trust and they have.
Or a native
experience.
like American, like when I say native, nationalized, like you know, you're from the United States and they're kind of comfortable, like, oh, you are an American.
They recognize that I adapted to the environment and I understand the culture. I understand, you know, how to give a proper Colombian dap handshake. I understand that you're not supposed to slam the doors on the taxis and Uber drivers because it offends people. I understand that, you know, a smile goes further than, you know, obnoxious, you know, American, uptight, you know, I'm better than everybody. Because at the end of the day, we're all people. Just because I was born over here and you were born over there doesn't make me better than you or vice versa. You know, we're all one people and that's how it's supposed to be. And a lot of people who do travel, they kind of forget that stuff and they move with a sense of entitlement and arrogance. And that's the one thing that I really hate about when us, you know, specifically Americans travel overseas, we have this underlying sense of arrogance and that we're supposed to, you know, have the best of everything, or we're, you know, why isn't things moving as fast? Why the waiter didn't come and change the ice cubes in my drink? And, you know, a lot of places in the world are more simple than that. They're not, you know, it's not that stressed. Everything is more calm, tranquilo, you know, everything's just a vibe and everybody moves at their own pace. And sometimes, you know, it gets frustrating for me being a host to my people and seeing how they act. And I'd always try to correct them and say, hey, bro, that's not how we do things out here, you know, and educate them because they really don't know because it's just a different culture. It's just a different way of life.
Yeah, because you're providing, you know, at the end of the day, it's a service. You're showcasing what the country has. You're also showcasing potentially, you know, some potential challenges that they could have, you know, and that's kind of like what it was. You were just kind of giving them a full look of like, okay, this is what it is and this is what it, you know, and so things kind of got, you know what I mean, turned upside down.
Yeah, the narrative got flipped.
Okay, so we're in Medellin, you're doing events and parties. So you started doing events and parties like you were doing in Japan?
Yeah, pretty much, you know, like it's hard. The one thing about being a promoter or doing anything that you're good at, you're always going to do it. That's like just because you change cities, countries or whatever, if you sell houses in Vegas, you can probably sell a house in Paris. If you do if you're a good chef in Las Vegas, you probably can still cook if you go to Brazil. You know what I mean? So just me having that natural ability to mobilize people and bring people together under one roof and building is nothing that I haven't done my whole life. You know, from Vegas to Colombia, Japan, Italy, it doesn't matter. All the places that I lived overseas, I was always known for creating the vibes, creating, you know, the gathering of same-minded people that like to do the same things, like to catch the same type of vibes with the music, etc. So at the end of the day, when I got to Colombia, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of holes in this nightlife scene, and there's a lot of Americans. There's tons of guys coming out here. Let me see if I could put something together. I approached one of my favorite venues, reached out to them. Hey, I got an idea. I want to do an event with you guys, a collaboration. They say, yeah, no problem, no problem. I want to call it Vibe Cartel, featuring me and my brother Patrick Cornett, one of the best DJs in America, in the world. I'm not even going to say just America, in the world. Me and Patrick was the perfect 1-2 punch to make any event pop off. We had every section sold out every time we did the events. And shout out to Patrick again, because he was actually flying from Vegas to Medellin, literally sometimes for 24 hours and leaving.
Yeah.
24 hours and leaving, you know what I mean?
I already know those
And at the
vibes.
end of the day, you know, the money that we were making wasn't any life-changing money. It wasn't like I was able to live off of the money that I was making in Yeres Park collaborating with these venues. My money, my business is through social media, marketing, data recovery, promotion, stuff like that. Selling ads on Las Vegas Scoop, selling ads on Unseen Medellin, things like that. My money is internet money. I don't make money off of women. I don't make money off of clubs.
Yeah.
The party money was small money. It was just something, just so I got a little bit of something for my time at the end of the day, because I'm making the venue thousands of dollars. I'm using my name, my influence, my brands that I created.
There was like a understanding. Yeah.
Exactly. It was an understanding. And I wasn't trying to bang them over the head like, oh, you got to pay me thousands of dollars. Like, hey, just take care of the DJ, take care of the transportation. He's going to stay with me at my house, and we're going to do this for the love of the culture, because at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that people are having a good time.
Right.
That's it. In a safe place, a safe environment. If you're going to come here and look for prostitutes and party and do drugs and this, that, and the third, at least come do it around an area that's safe, that's clean, and that people know each other. People, you know what I'm saying? Everybody looks out for each other, because at the end of the day, we're all foreigners on a foreign soil. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know you from a can of paint, but I know you're from where I'm from, and I see you going through something, I'm going to help you, because I would hope that somebody would do the same for me. You know what I mean? So
Human first.
Human first. So at the end of the day, doing the events, everything went great. 2023, first event started. 2024, we go into the next year. We're doing more collaborations, doing more regular events together. 2025, everything's at its peak. Everything's maximum, you know what I'm saying? Vibes, venues sold out every time. I'm doing parties outside of Yeres Park at this time. Now I'm doing parties in the upscale neighborhoods. Now I'm doing events in Bora Bora, and I'm doing different events in Larella's. I'm going all over the city.
It's not just nightlife stuff. It turned into more of like now you're doing events during the day or doing meetups and different things. So it's not just like straight up club events.
Right. There was all sorts of different things, all sorts of different concepts that we had. We organized different things for the community. We did different giveaways, different give back events. You know, anybody that had anything going on that was giving back or helping anybody, like my brother CEO Jerry, another good influencer in Medellin. He always does toy drives. He always does give backs during Christmas, and not even just Christmas, at any given time. You know what I'm saying? People needed mattresses one time, and we went to a barrio in some random neighborhood, and Jerry was giving away mattresses, so people just had a place to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I would push and promote through my networks and say, hey, look at this, look at what's happening. Like, everybody should support this type of stuff, on top of coming out here partying and doing your thing. You know, while you're here, give back a little bit, do a little something for somebody. I've paid for random people to go eat. I bought all the kids on Calle 10 food before from the chicken spot and let them get a meal. You know, at the end of the day, it's not always about just money. Sometimes just, you know, being a good person
community.
to a community, right? Taking care of your neighbor. Like, even though we may not communicate the same, or we're not from the same place, you're human just like I am. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that it's like, I connected with those people, because again, my background, my blood comes from this land ultimately, like my family comes from this soil too. So I see a part of myself in those people also. So yeah, if I'm doing good, then I'm gonna try to give something back to somebody else, because you know what I mean, I'm blessed. At the end of the day, no matter what happens to me, I'm here, I'm healthy, I'm good. Like money's good, family's good, mom good, son's good, everybody's good. So I don't have too much to complain about. I'm just here to help out and do what I can. And I think with my situation, a lot of that got misconstrued in the stories and everything that happened. But going into 2026, so 2026, the venue that I was working with pulls me to the side, says they don't want to do any events anymore. Okay, no problem. October was the last event. We all knew that, you know, November, December, January, things get slow in Colombia. It's not too many tourists coming in, things slow down. Okay, understandable. January comes, my birthday, January 31st. I do my event at a club called Sky Park. Sky Park has been struggling. They've been in a little bit of a decline, not as popular as they used to be because certain reasons. The reasons don't matter, but they had nothing to do with me. They have a successful night, make tons of money off my birthday. I didn't make $1 off that event. No problem. These are my guys. They've been supporting me for years. They've had my back for years. No problem. Here's the alley-oop, a free event. I had Patrick come out. He DJ'd, killed it. Historic night. Yeah. Everything was good. Love. They pulled me to the side. Hey, would you mind starting to do events here again? Now at this time, I'm kind of trying to get away from the park thing. You know, I'm doing my own events, R&B event, R&B Barrio. You know, I'm trying to get away from, you know, the quote pay for play clubs, and you know what I'm saying, start doing my own thing.
Yeah, you're just kind of looking for another lane.
Just trying to create another lane, trying to bring another genre of music to the city that didn't already exist, and there's nowhere for people to go that want to hear good R&B music. So I declined to work with them. Cool, no problem, do your thing. I'm next door at the sister club, Glow. I'm next door at the sister club, bringing DJs, doing semi-regular events, but more so I'm just bringing my clients and people that I'm hosting in the city to the club. Yeah. Glow is the more popular club. Glow, you know, has the better vibe, the better element, you know, it just feels more like a upscale spot, so it's a popular spot. I'm taking people over there. Okay, no problem. No problem taking people over there, because again, same owners, same management, same team. No problem. It is what it is. I get approached by a third club, Gusto's, across the street. Great upscale club, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more on the pricier side, more known for white men and Indian men to be going there. That's more like their everyday crowd. They approach me. Capo, do you mind doing events with us? You know, we could really use your help. Let's try to do an event or two, see what happens. Basically, they needed me to be the voice to my people, aka the minorities and the Americans. This is now a place that you guys could come back to. We realize that we don't play the type of music that you guys like. We're gonna use Capo and Capo's influence to bring people to Gusto's. That was the whole point. We had a meeting, the boss, the manager, the security, we had a big staff meeting, introduced myself to everybody. They knew me, but just in an official, you know, format to introduce myself to everybody. We agreed. I said, okay, look, we're gonna bring Vibe Cartel, the #1 hip hop trap party in Colombia, to Gusto's every Thursday. But we're gonna just start with 2 events, see how it goes. If everybody's happy, we'll continue the relationship. Shook hands, everything was good. And again, I wasn't being paid for these events. These were just pro bono. Yeah. You know,
well, it's like a reciprocation. It's like, you know, your experience and all your assets that you've accumulated, you're able to like kind of like use that on the other side. To
Right. So just having my influence was a big deal, because it was just a thing that if Capo's not in your club, it's not popping. And you can ask anybody that been to Medellin, that's been in the club scene. If I'm not in the club, chances are that's probably not the club with the best vibes that's happening at that moment. That's just what people have said to me. You know, I don't necessarily agree or disagree, but that's what's said. So me taking that energy and that reputation to another club infuriated the other guys across the street.
Business, It
was just business, but it was more personal. It's kind of like, you know, you're not really in a relationship with somebody, but y'all got a thing. You got a thing. And then one day you go outside and you see that person across the street with another guy or girl. And meanwhile, you still have that thing. I just saw you a couple of days ago, but now it's personal. Now it's like, oh, so you're dealing with other people, you know? And then that's when things started to go, you know, a little bit left. And, you know, the tension, there was a couple of weeks from when I was doing the new event at Gusto's to when I stopped doing my events with, you know, Sky Park or Glow.
So pretty much you were doing business with one side of the fence, and then you started doing business with the other side of the fence, so people weren't too happy about that.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, it's just like, you know, you have an unofficial relationship with somebody, and then you see that person doing business with somebody else, it, you know, it makes you feel away. Now, I can't 100% without a doubt put my finger and say this is what happened.
Right, of course.
But it's kind of weird to me that if immigration, now I was kicked out of Colombia for an immigration violation. Overstaying my visa.
So it was administrative, pretty much. That was the reason you got to, you know, you had to leave.
On paper, if you look at the documentation, it says that I was removed from the country under law, blah, blah, code, blah, blah, for overstaying my visa, and I was voluntarily allowed to leave. So you can get a voluntary or involuntary. If you do voluntary, there's a shorter period of time and less restrictions for you to be able to come back into the country. If there is an involuntary deportation, that means no matter what you say, you're not coming back. Your ban is going to be a minimum. Your ban is going to be a minimum of 10 years, which everybody that was on the bus with me when I was deported had a 10-year involuntary ban. I was the only person given a 5-year voluntary ban.
So I mean, that just shows, I mean, it was a mass deportation, so you got lumped in with a lot of other people that were getting, so it was just kind of like everybody's getting sent back.
So long story short, I'm in the club, I'm in Gusto's, I'm with my DJ Black Amigo from Atlanta. I'm in the DJ booth, I'm chilling, minding my business, just me and my friend May. She's a promoter out there as well, very famous Afrobeats promoter. We're chilling. Next thing you know, I get a tap on my shoulder from 10 police officers and 10 immigration officers with them. They ask me, are you Capo? I say yes. They ask for my ID. I provide my ID. I had a cedula. I had a legal document to live there, but it was expired, and not making any excuses. It was my fault that I let my visa expire. Normally, with me and my lawyer, we coordinate 30 days before my license expires. But in this situation, I didn't have the $3,000 laying around at that moment to start all the process and everything that was needed to get the visa like I normally do every year. So it's not like I'm ignorant to the process. I know the process very well. I've been staying here since 2022 under legal status. So by no means was I trying to, you know, overstay my welcome, basically. So my lawyer starts the process. My visa expired February 28th. My lawyer starts the process February 26th, which it takes 4 to 8 weeks potentially from the time that they start to the time that the visa goes through. And they took me to jail, and they got me to the jail, and they said, okay, you're just gonna pay a fine. At this time now, it's 2 a.m. My lawyer's not answering the phone. They're saying, I don't believe you. I don't believe you have a visa pending. We don't see anything. So I said, okay, no problem. My lawyer will solve it. Mind you, I'm still in my club clothes, everything. I got my jewelry on. And they're like, okay, well, you're gonna spend the night here. And I said, all right, cool, where's the couch? They said, no, you're going in the jail cell. You're going in the jail cell. So they take me to jail. They put me in this room. There's a Dominican guy in there. There's a white guy in there from America. And there's a Venezuelan woman. And we're all kind of in like little isolated areas. I got footage of that too. But so the white guy in the cell, he's in there, didn't know it at the time. He's in there for harassing children. He's going from school to school, elementary schools, middle schools. He's dealing with children. He's causing problems. He's trying to fight teachers, parents. He claims that he is scouting baseball. He claims that he's scouting for baseball players. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, I don't know too many Colombian baseball players. I know Dominican baseball players. I know Cuban baseball players. I know Panamanian baseball players. I know Brazilian baseball players. I'm not too familiar with many Colombian baseball players, but if you are looking for that, they do that in Cartagena. What are you doing in Medellin, going around schools looking for children to scout, you know? So his story was already shaky. But anyways, the next morning, my lawyer shows up, my best friend shows up, my girl shows up, everybody's there supporting. My lawyer's like, hey, they want to deport you. And I said, what? And he said, yes. He's like, it's coming from very high, the mayor's office, that they want you gone. They don't want you in the country anymore. And for the life of me, I can't understand what is it that I did that was so offensive. Because again, I've not been arrested. I haven't been put in handcuffs. I haven't been charged with anything.
There's no criminal anything.
There's no criminal anything that's happened to justify in my mind why this is happening to me. So we go through the process. Okay. Initially they said, well, we want to give you an involuntary 10-year ban off rip. That's what they wanted off rip. The immigration officer pulls my lawyer to the side and says, let me talk to you. My lawyer gives me the look, okay, let's go talk.
Yeah.
He comes back to me and says, for 4 million pesos, you'll get a voluntary 2-year ban. 4 million pesos is $1,000 US equivalent, roughly or so. So I said, damn, $1,000 just to still get banned is kind of steep. Can't I just pay a fine for overstaying?
Right.
They weren't interested in that. The mayor had already made the call.
Yeah, it had to happen.
ChillCapo is gone. He's out of here. And the reason why I had to go is because my social media. My social media was causing a lot of problems. It was providing a lot of negative press under his leadership and his tenure in office because his failure to find the killers of the American Airlines flight attendant who was in Colombia on work. He wasn't there chasing women. He wasn't a passport bro. He was an American Airlines, a $1 billion company's employee working in your city who just happened to go out with another coworker and ended up dead, body found in a river 2 hours away from the city. And to this day, they still cannot locate the men that killed him or women, those involved that had responsibility for his murder. So that's a terrible PR hit. That looks horrible to his optics in the world because American Airlines ain't McDonald's. Not disrespecting McDonald's, they're a $1 billion company too, but no one's gonna cry about a missing McDonald's employee. A missing American Airlines flight attendant is a very big deal. And they tried to keep it quiet because it didn't fit the narrative that only people that die in Colombia are people that are here buying prostitutes, people that are here as sex tourists. It didn't fit that narrative because he was a gay male flight attendant. And that story's not interesting. That story doesn't help Mayor Fico get any votes for re-election in October 2027. It's not helping his narrative. If it would have been a passport bro, it would have fit the narrative. Nobody feels sorry for guys that are coming here for sex tourism when they die, because they say, oh, why are you coming to my country to exploit our women? Even though we do offer legal prostitution, it's the same thing as a drug dealer being mad and blaming the people that come to buy bricks from him. And he tries to lock them up for it. But meanwhile, you're advertising to the world that you got bricks for under a certain price, way below whatever you would get it for back home. Of course, the people are going to show up for this. You make it a legal thing. If you don't like prostitution in your country, all it takes is one signature on a piece of paper to dissolve that law and now make it illegal like it is in most places. But if you're going to have legal prostitution and you're going to monetize it and put it on the internet, and you're going to have all these different social media campaigns spreading across the world showing, oh, Papacito, come to Colombia, come to Colombia. All of these hundreds of different memes and videos and YouTubers that are all over the world showcasing that you have this legal sex industry then what do you expect for people to do? There's a lot of lonely men in the world. There's a lot of lames in the world. There's a lot of people that are too scared or intimidated and don't know how to approach beautiful women. But guess where you can get a beautiful woman between 100 and 150, 200, whatever dollars it is? Guess where you can go? And everybody knows those places. Thailand, Brazil, Colombia, Dominican Republic. Everybody knows the Passport Bros location and where you go to get beautiful women at a cheaper price. It's just Colombia has the best quality women. So of course, people are gonna start there and come there in packs. It's only a 3-hour flight from Miami to Medellin. Spirit Airlines, as long as you got $200, you can have this experience anytime that you want to. So my situation played a big role in the political atmosphere because I am who I am. I'm an influencer. I'm a person with a large voice. I have the ability to share, good or bad news about Medellin. And according to the mayor's office, I was promoting negative things by highlighting how the police were standing over that drugged. There's a video on my Instagram with a drug tourist, and the police are just standing over his body, looking at his body, just looking around, kind of keeping traffic from hitting him, but they're not helping him. They're not rendering any aid. Our police here, as soon as something happens to you, somebody's going to try to administer CPR, or they're going to try to stop the bleeding, or they're going to apply a tourniquet or something like that. All of our public servants are trained in medical triage. So at the end of the day, if I'm showcasing these things on my platforms and my pages, and I'm showing how you guys can't find the killers of the flight attendant, I'm showing how your police don't really help anybody in need, I'm showing that when girls and the criminal elements that are in the city are drugging and robbing tourists, and even if they get picked up by police, they're released in 12 to 24 hours later and go back to doing the same thing again. So all the videos that I was promoting on my social media was trying to show people how to navigate around these things, how to not deal with these type of people, where you shouldn't be meeting women on Tinder or Bumble, because 9 times out of 10, you're really talking to a man that's about to drug you, and he's just going to send that female to go set you up. I'm trying to teach these people the reality, because at the end of the day, you were doing this before Capo, you were doing it while Capo was here, and you're going to be doing it long after Capo's gone. So at least you have this body of work online on the internet that's going to help you navigate through these streets and at least help you get home safely, because nobody deserves to die just because they wanted to have, sex with somebody, in a foreign country while on vacation. Newsflash, all men want when they travel. There's not one man who's ever gone anywhere and said, you know what, I'm good on this trip. I don't want to get this trip. I have no desire to have this whole weekend, this whole week, this whole month that I'm on this trip. I'm traveling while I'm on this cruise, while I go to Europe, while I go to Africa, wherever I'm going in the world. A man wants to
naturally. Everybody's going to want to have a good time in different ways. So that kind of opens up when you go to these different places and spaces, man or woman, regardless, you know what I mean? They want to go out and have a good time. And sometimes that good time is just like, we just want to have a good time. We want to make it home safe, but we want to have a good time. And that includes going out, maybe shopping, maybe, dinners, maybe, you know what I mean? Meeting up with people, whatever it is, So I think it's just all together, you know what I mean? Like when you travel, you just want to have a good time.
Right. Everyone has a good time, wants to have a good time. And men are men. Men are always going to be men. It's just the way that we're wired. It is what it is. Where I come into the picture, I'm not providing women. I'm not having private events so you can meet these women. It's open air prostitution, open air legal prostitution. All I have to do is walk on the street and it's there. All I have to do is take my clients to one area and it's there. I don't have to provide women. I don't make money off the women. I'm not going to benefit off of any $100 prostitute in any part of the world, much less in Colombia.
You can go to these places and have, go, if you're looking for a certain type of party, to go over here or, to go over here. So you were just, you're just providing places and spaces for people to go, at least safe spaces.
People are going to do it whether I'm there or not. I was just taking people to where they wanted to go.
You were just making suggestions.
Based on what it is that they want, because every nightclub, the thing that determines where you go out is the music, number one, and who's going to be there, number two.
Right.
There's only 2 or 3 places in Medellin where you're going to hear hip hop and reggaeton music combined. So obviously, if I have a group of black clients or Latino clients, they're going to be more inclined to listen to hip hop. There's only 2 or 3 places I could take them. Now, if they're saying, hey, we're more flexible with our variety, we're cool with doing the local thing, we're cool with that scene, cool, let's go to Lorella's, let's go to Dulcinea, let's go to La Logia, let's go to these other normal clubs and let's go catch a vibe, let's go, you know, blend in with the regulars, you know what I mean? Like we don't have to do this pay for play thing over here.
Well, I think your point is right. Like you have like anytime you have customers, clients, you're gonna take them to where they need to go, especially when you're providing a certain service, you're promoting clubs or not even that, just an experience, travel experience. Most people that go into a country, they're like, I want to do this, this, and this. And all you're doing is providing that service. Okay, you want to go by the water, you want to go do nightlife, and you want to go eat good food. I got an itinerary for you. You want to do local stuff and then maybe hit a high class club. I got this perfect itinerary. So you have like a variety of itineraries, you know, that you can offer to everybody.
Pretty much. And all I did is just cater to what the client needed, and whatever they wanted to do, we did it.
Just like any promoter that's even in Vegas, when people want to come to party, they have a group of people. You're just like, okay, what kind of party, what kind of music? All right, I'm going to take you to this club. I'm going to take you over here. We're going to do this. Boom. And that's all it is. You're not really doing anything else but just kind of like introing into the city and giving them a space.
Exactly.
To celebrate. Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like ultimately it was a wild ride, a good one, you know, with some sprinkled little extra spice at the end.
Ultimately, you know, we made history out there. Vibe Cartel, the biggest trap party in Colombia history.
That's cool.
You know, it's not even up for debate. Me and my bro Patrick Cornett, like we shut that shit down twice a month for months at a time, and everybody knows, you know, where that energy came from and who initiated and created that element, and it was me and that man.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that man, maybe he should come sit. I mean, he was there with you in Colombia.
I mean, we are in Vegas, so he could be in town.
Yeah. Come on over, Patrick.
My dog.
What up,
Good to see you again, bro.
Yes. For the paint, where it ain't.
Good to see you again.
We doing it. Yes, we here.
Got that Nacional jersey on.
You know what I mean?
You know, see, we love Colombia, man.
Yeah.
We really
I love Colombia,
rock with Colombia. Like it's and like this whole situation is just crazy because nobody did more for less. You know what I mean? A lot of people, especially of his caliber, would be charging thousands of dollars just to show up and make an appearance, you know what I mean? And do what he does. He is one of the greatest DJs in the world. Like bar for bar, talent for talent, skill for skill. This guy is it, you know what I mean? And he was a friend to me and support me and come and I called him and said, hey, I need your help. We about to make history out here in Colombia. I need you. And he didn't hesitate. He jumped on the plane and, you know what I mean? We did the damn thing for over a year, That's
amazing. I think that really shows, though, the character, though, because when people are willing to do things with you and work with you, especially when you're like, hey, I got this idea, let's just see what happens. There's a level of trust there.
Man, my experience has been great. Like, I was even thinking about moving to Colombia. I was actually going to move to Colombia with my family, you know, and you talked about character, you know, it's just me being a parent, you know, me having a family, like, you know, I have to judge people based off their character before I make a decision doing anything. And so when I seen everything happen with Capo, and I was already booked to actually go out there and do a party with him, I thought the shit was crazy. You know, we've never ever experienced nothing with women that we've forced women to do. It's never happened, you know, always been a vibe. His girl's always been there. I've stayed with him, you know, it's been him and his girl, and then the housekeeper would come and clean, but you know, we never had no sex parties. But like he said, with Colombia, that's not even, you don't have to do that. It's just out there. You don't have to plan anything. You just go vibe, turn up.
I feel that. I think it just comes down to, like you said, it was an easy to take these videos and just kind of like smear, because now you have the ability to like turn something in.
I mean, there's a ton of videos like of people that have moved abroad because of that reason. And I talk about it all the time. Like, you know, people get tired of living in this rat race over in America. You know, you got to make $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month just to be able to pay your bills and eat, you know what I'm saying? And over in these other countries, you know, and it's the respect these people give us. You know, it's not anything too crazy.
There's more to life than paying bills.
Yes, and you can, and the vibe is just better. Like it's just.
Sorry to break that. I don't know if you guys look. Which camera am I looking at? There is more to life than paying bills.
Literally waking up.
And that's what I think we're not
struggling.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's more to life than just jumping into that and saying I'm gonna go work for somebody. You guys chose to do something different. You chose and saw because you've done the. You know what I mean? Your experience being in the military and doing that, having to follow orders. You're like, look, it comes to a place in your life where you're like, I want to live life based on what I want to do, where I want to go, and make the best decision for me and my family, you know, and have my money go a long way. I think that's a really big piece of it that people don't realize too.
And people don't understand like what we were trying to do. Like we were starting in Yetta's Park, because that's where we had to start, from nothing. We were building from the ground up. Yeah. We wanted to bring artists in. We wanted to bring our culture and share it with the city. And
artists came.
A few artists did show up. A few artists did pull up and actually come kick it. A few other, high-profile people, celebrities. They came to Colombia with Capo. That was my whole thing. Colombia with Capo. Come catch this vibe. There's nowhere else that you're gonna feel at home than at the club with us or whatever event that we got going on. And that space for that little bit of time you're gonna feel at home. And at no point in time did me or Patrick have to provide women or organize women for anybody or any of that stuff. Anyone who's ever been to Medellin, specifically Yetta's Park, knows that when you go into the park, there are literally thousands upon thousands of females walking around that are available to whoever wants to speak to them. There's police everywhere. It's totally legal. It's totally normal. The girls.
So wait, you have to educate me now. Hold on, because I don't know these areas. What is that?
So Yetta's Park is the area of Medellin and Poblado. So Poblado is kind of.
So it's like certain area.
Like Poblado is the city. El Poblado is an area of Medellin where all the tourism and everything is pretty much based. It's kind of like the hub of the tourist,
like the strip,
the strip basically
of
right, that's the strip. And then Yetta's Park is like the little red light district area.
That's what I wanted to know. Okay,
Poblado. Got it. Yetta's Park is where all the prostitution and all of the nightlife and all of those things, which is legal, happens. So our events had to start somewhere. There's only 2 places that play hip hop, so obviously that's where we had to begin because that's where I have my relationships with those people. And Patrick doing what he does, being one of the best DJs that can blend the trap and the American sound with the local Hispanic Latino sound like nobody else, it was the perfect fusion. Our events were crazy. Like he can talk about it better than me. Like he was up there killing and controlling the crowd. Like that energy, that first Vibe Cartel that we did, like talk about that.
I mean, bro, like it really was unmatched. It felt like one of the most littest nights in Vegas, but it was in Colombia. Not spending a ton of money. The vibe is just like on another level. The DJing in Colombia, bro, is like, that's why I was wanting to move there, just because you don't get, it's just easier. People accept you, and like he's incorporating our culture with their culture, bringing more culture there. It was only a positive thing that he was just kind of reinforcing. It wasn't like, I'm taking over this country, this is what I'm gonna do. It was really us bringing this vibe, incorporating it with the Colombia vibe. Yeah, and it was just dope.
It had nothing to do with sex. Like at no point in time were we advertising, the girls and the sex and the sex that you can get and come here for the sex. It wasn't called Sex Cartel. It was Vibe Cartel. It's not Sex Cartel. Vibe Cartel, because it's just a good vibe. It makes you feel like you're back at home. And everybody knows back home we're spending money.
And people do the same things here. Like what it was crazy is like, even with the sex part, people do the exact same thing here.
Come hear some good ass music and get some cheap drinks and have a good time.
I think it's just easy. It just comes to, you have videos, so it's easy for people to just use that and then just say, hey, look at these videos. This is what it is. And so,
and the majority of the stuff that I've seen on social media that I've been getting tagged to, they're taking 3-second, 4-second clips of random events, random moments in time, some as old as 2 years ago, a year ago. And they're just manipulating that footage to look however they want to look to paint the narrative. Because like I said earlier, at the end of the day, they needed a win politically to make it look like I was the first domino of, unfortunately, what's going to be a series of dominoes of people being removed that have a voice, and their voice doesn't fit the narrative of what the powers that be want to be put out there about their city or country. And by all means, I'm not some entitled and privileged American guy that's like, they can't kick me out, I'm American. No, you have every right to remove anybody from your country that you feel like is a harm to your country or city. But what you're not going to do is remove me and then put things on my name that wasn't part of my character, that didn't happen, that's just fabricated for clicks and likes, and slander me. When I got off that plane in Miami, I was put in handcuffs because Colombia told Miami, the United States, that I was a sex trafficker and potentially were doing all sorts of sexual crimes and all this extra Diddy activity, and that had nothing to do with me. That's not even what the situation
it was like a mass deportation, so people that were also getting deported with you. There were people in there that were it was criminal reasons.
There was one guy.
Right, and then your reasoning though, once again, was more administrative reasons, you know, so, but because you guys all got sent back to the United States together on the same plane, they're like, oh yeah, they're all criminals, but in reality, there is no criminal charges against
The guy
you.
with me actually had the warrant in New York. At the end of the day, my whole thing was, when I got on that plane, on paper, I was only accused of overstaying my visa. Once I land in Miami, I'm put in handcuffs by Homeland Security. DHS is right there. I get taken to an interrogation room for 2 hours. They take my devices. They take both of my phones. They take my computer. They scan everything, watch every video, watch every text message, look at WhatsApp, Telegram, DM, every page. Everything that was on my phone that could be looked at, read, or viewed was looked at. And when they brought me back in the room, they said, oh, bro, you're free to go. And I said, what was that about? And the guy says, hey, man, between me and you, Colombia tried to set you up because they said you were X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. You were sexual this, you were this predator, you were sex trafficking, you were pimping. They had a laundry list of things that they should look for once I enter back into America. So obviously, America, we don't just assume that people are guilty until proven innocent. You know what I mean? So they did their due diligence, looked into all of my social networks, looked at everything possible, and said they saw no evidence that supports any of this. You did events. You did events where prostitution was legal. You broke no crimes. You're not charged with a crime. You weren't charged with a crime there. We're not going to charge you with a crime here. Welcome home. Have a safe flight to Las Vegas.
And here's all your things.
and here's your book bag, because they didn't let me go home. They didn't let me take my stuff. All of my property as of this point in time is still in Medellin, Colombia, in my condo that I already paid rent for. But it is what it is, you know?
Well, that's part of the ride of life, right?
You know.
One thing I know about you, Steve, one thing I know about you is, you know, through everything and everything that you go through, you always keep the receipts. And
always keep the receipts.
One thing I knew is don't slander my name, because I
talk about it. We're gonna talk about it for sure. We're gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? This guy was with me. He knows. You know what I mean? Like all of the, you know, he was, I'm not a sex tourist. I'm a 4-year resident of a beautiful place that I enjoy and I'm connected with. I live with my girlfriend. Literally anytime we went out, who did you see me with? What's her name? Say it.
Don't say it. But yes, we'll just.
We're gonna cut that. What was her name?
Describe her. The thick girl with the glasses.
With the glasses, yeah. It was like the same chick every single time.
Like, but literally, have you ever seen me with any other girl in the club? It's like it's just she's already in the section waiting for us to show up.
Especially at your house, like.
Yeah. So I think the whole point is to be able to showcase like you're a lot more than what you see online. Online is your job, your way of making money, social media. So there's certain aspects that you're gonna put a lot more light to, like events, because you're in that space. But, you know, now you kind of, you know, it's nice to be able to kind of showcase who you are as a human and who you are as a person outside of the social media land.
There's ChillCapo and then there's Steve.
Yeah.
This shit, like you just said, Steve. Most people don't even know my real name.
I know, that's why I thought about it. I was like, oh, I don't know if they know.
All they know is
Yes.
ChillCapo.
Yeah.
Most people never get to meet Steve. Right now, Steve is who's talking to you on this couch. Steve, talking to Jennifer, talking to Patrick.
Yeah.
We're all here together. And I'm just trying to clear my name and put a little bit more information about myself into the world, since so many people and so many different social media pages, YouTube, you know, every time I get an alert about my name, it's a totally fabricated story with a bunch of different clips of my social media being used against me. And I said, okay, you know what, at the end of the day, I know that's going to happen because I'm a public figure. I know what it's like when people want to, you know, push a narrative about anybody who is unpopular or they don't like. But at the end of the day, I committed no crimes. I kept my integrity and I left in peace.
Once again, it comes down to people make assumptions based off, you know, what they see. And then now you're able to kind of share, like, this is who I really am.
Right. Everything you heard about Capo, this is Steve.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.